Hi, good morning. It's Wednesday.
Mhm.
And very quickly, I was out on a live shot. I brought you a veggie sub.
Oh, wow, look at you.
Jersey Mike's today, every single location. There's some in Tucson, some in northern Arizona, and Phoenix. Today is a day of giving. So, all 100% of proceeds
Wow.
from anything. I bought myself a salad. Anything that you purchase, chips, drinks, everything goes to Phoenix Children's Hospital.
And I was amazed. They said last year when they did this,
Hmm. Right. Isn't
$600,000
that
in one
fantastic?
day.
In one day. I mean, I was talking to the owner, Corey, and he said they're going to be so busy, there will be lines out the door. That was the Old Town Scottsdale location. So head on out. All you have to do is buy yourself lunch, and
Mhm.
everything goes to Phoenix Children. So enjoy, Ty.
And I know you said they were hoping to up it
Well,
this
we
year,
would love to
over
see that, right?
600,000, right?
I mean, we talked to Michaela, who was born with a kidney disease,
Mhm.
essentially, and she was treated. Everything was good. And then 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, she started getting really bad symptoms of diabetes, went in, and it's just ongoing patient.
Wow.
And so it just benefits so many children.
It really does.
Hmm.
So go out,
Yeah.
get yourself some lunch, and it's
Yeah.
all for a very good cause on this Wednesday. All right, we got quite a few topics,
Oh,
some great
okay.
topics, but something that I think a lot of people need to be cognizant about is
Hmm.
that real ID. There's
Okay.
lots of questions, there's lots of concerns about what this real ID is. So let's get into kind of the nitty
Hmm.
gritty, what this real ID is. I brought my ID. I covered up all of the oh, there it is right there. You don't even need my ID because you have B-roll already loaded in.
That is, and they're running the B-roll for me. Thank you, Trenton and Simone, who are helping us. Oh, when did you get yours?
Years ago,
Okay.
because this has continued to be kind of pushed back, but it
Hmm.
looks like now the
This is it.
deadline for this is going to be May 7th to make the switch. Now you'll know you have a real ID because if you look at your screen right now,
Hmm.
on the top right hand corner it's got that little gold star. That means that you are good to go, and you are going to need this if you travel.
Hmm.
So
If you fly,
if
if
you
you're
fly,
flying,
yes,
yeah.
if you want to go to the airport and get on a plane, you are going to need your real ID in order to do that.
Hmm.
Trenton, I don't know if I can ask you, do we have that phone interview good to go here that we could talk to him?
He's trying to
We're
get him right
we're
now.
working on it right
I
now.
went a couple years ago. I don't remember why I was at the DMV, and I just happened to have the information with me and said, let's just go ahead and update it. I will say it was a very, very easy process. DMV is reporting that the lines are very long right
Yeah.
now because so many people are coming in and switching over to the DMV.
Hmm.
So we're trying to get you guys a live interview so we can talk about what you need and how you need to prepare. If you don't want to go to the DMV, we have been getting a lot of calls and questions about this third party MVD,
Hmm.
not associated with the state.
Well, they are. They work in
Yes, yes, yes.
conjunction with the state,
Okay,
but they're their own
correct.
entities.
I misspoke. But there are extra fees. Trenton, our producer, said he paid an extra $50 for
For
convenience.
convenience, because you're probably not going to see as long of lines if you go to actually one of the actual MVD offices that we have here in the
Hmm.
state of Arizona. So let's kind of get into the nitty gritty. So this is pretty interesting. So travelers who do not present a real ID compliant license or acceptable alternative, which would be a passport card,
Card. Hmm.
something like that, you can use that if you don't actually want to go get this by the deadline, but you can always use those other IDs to get on planes. It's not like they're
Hmm.
not going to let you on if you don't have the real ID,
Right.
but you're going to need that for permitted at any of the locations. So
So
let's
that's when
go.
you're approaching the TSA,
Yep.
right? You're approaching the TSA. Now, we both traveled recently. All you have to do, here's her phoner, is you put your ID into this little slot,
Hmm.
and they do face recognition. They don't even look at your boarding
Yeah.
pass. Hmm.
All right. So we've got the phoner.
Hi.
We're gonna do it old school way. We're just gonna hold the mic up, or hold the phone up to the mic, I should say. Bill, good morning.
Hi, Bill.
Oh, mute. Hold on. I gotta learn how to use a
Hi,
phone.
Bill.
Hold on. Hold on.
Trial and error,
All right,
folks. Trial
Bill.
and
There
error.
we go. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yes, we can.
Hey.
Bill, this is our second day, so we've got some learning curves here that we're still working out. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. You've got Anita and Ty here. Let's get into this real ID nitty gritty. I think a lot of folks are kind of concerned. Anytime we have some kind of new regulation that pops up, folks kind of get a little worried about what they need, how they get it, all of that. Can you walk us through, if folks go to one of the MVD locations, what items do they need to bring to get that real ID?
Absolutely. So there's going to be a few documents you're going to want to bring into the MVD office when you come in. And I did hear you guys talking already, and there are several authorized third-party locations you can go to after hours or on Saturdays as well. So there's a ton of different convenient ways to make this happen if you need to get the travel ID. When you do come into one of our offices, though, please bring your birth certificate, either the original or a certified copy.
Okay.
You need to bring in your actual, just your social security number. And then 2 forms of documentation, whether it's through the mail or printed off, that has your proper name that you're going to be using on your driver license or ID, as well as your current address that shows your Arizona residency. So some of those could be your utility bill or cell phone bill, maybe your bank or bank statement, credit card statement. Some of those things, different things. You could even use your vehicle registration because that would show your name and your current address as well.
Bill, can you use your current ID in any way or form?
So you will show them that, but that the new travel ID will be replacing your current ID. But you could bring in your passport if you already have a passport. You could use that, but the birth certificate and then your 2 forms of mail or printed documentation as well.
Bill, will we get a new photo?
Yes, please. That's a key thing for a lot of folks to remember is to, when you do come in, make sure you're photo ready. So you look however you want. If you want to look nice, great, be nice. But however you want to look, just understand you will take a new photo that day when you're in there.
Are you allowed to smile? Because when you take your passport photo, you are not allowed to smile.
You can smile, and you can, or you don't have to. I tend to not actually smile too many in too many of my photos. I tend to look a little bit better when I don't smile. At least that's what I think. Okay. But you can also ask if you took the photo and if you feel like you blinked or something. You can ask the customer service rep to see, hey, can I take a look at that? I just want to make sure it's a decent looking photo, and they will give you a second chance if you didn't like the first one. So you can take that quick second.
We're getting a lot of comments from our viewers this morning. People who are saying that they already renewed their passport every 10 years. They pay a fee, and they don't want to have to renew their ID every 6 and pay another fee. That's just one comment there. So how long will this real ID last then?
So, and that is a great point. And so, ADOT, MVD, we're here just to kind of remind people that the federal deadline is coming. If you fly, then you might want to use this. There are other options. If you already have a passport and you want to travel with your passport to Philly or Pittsburgh or Minneapolis, then that would work. Or if you have a passport card, or if you already have global entry, if you travel that much, some of those ID cards would work just fine. You don't necessarily need to get the travel ID.
Global entry cards work?
Yes, global entry and then the Sentry card. So here in Arizona, Sentry cards are pretty big because people do come and go from the border of Mexico and Arizona quite frequently. So that Sentry card is also a federal ID that would work as well. But a lot of folks may not have that option. So the travel ID is a convenient way to keep your driver license or ID card with you so that when you do fly, you're federally compliant and you're ready to get past TSA.
Yeah. Plus, I'm always scared to travel with my passport unless I'm overseas. Because, if you lose that, there's so many more hoops that you have to jump through to get a replacement, where if you lose your ID, pretty easy just to grab a new one through your website, right?
Absolutely. And so the travel ID card is good for 8 years. Which actually in Arizona, I know is significantly different from, your license expiring when you turn 65. That can be a massive difference. However, a little known fact that most people don't pay attention to is you are supposed to update your driver license or ID photo every 12 years. Because otherwise, if you don't do it for 20 years or more, I guarantee the original photo doesn't look like who you are today.
Hey, what are you trying to say, Bill?
Trust
We're not aging gracefully or what?
Bill, we have a break coming up.
Before I joined up with ADOT MVD, my license was for my 18-year-old picture.
Oh, I love that.
I guarantee you, I do not look like what I did when I was 18.
I hope they let you keep it. We've got about 3 minutes left, and we're going to have to take a break. 2 other quick questions that we want to talk about. The third-party MVDs expect to pay fees, right? And then the other big thing that we're talking about, we're all getting these text messages, and I saw that you guys actually posted on Instagram saying, don't pay this bill. We don't have tolls.
Right. So let's talk that one first, and then we'll get into the authorized third-party locations. So the text scams that we all unfortunately get every day, or most every day, we always get emails and text scams that are trying to get our information or trying to get our financial information, even worse. the most recent one tried to use AZDOT to scare people that you've missed some toll road fines. Well, first of all, Arizona, if you've been here long enough, hopefully you realize we don't have toll roads. So that should be the first clue that it was a scam. Second of all, ADOT actually goes by ADOT, not necessarily AZDOT. Most of the time, these scams, whether it's email or text, there's going to be a few clues in there that are going to show you that that's not from the entity that they're claiming to be from. And this just happened to be two of those, the toll roads, and then AZDOT, that's not necessarily us. We go by ADOT MVD.
Okay, I have to go back because I'm reading these comments and someone is asking, are you out of luck if you lose your ID while you are flying? What happens then?
If you lose your ID while flying, so there's two things that I would definitely recommend people do is if you have a smartphone, which a lot of people do, maybe some people don't, but if you have a smartphone, Arizona's been one of the first states to adopt the Google Wallet, the Apple Wallet, and the Samsung Wallet. So if you have some version of a smartphone, chances are you can digitally load up your ID in your smartphone. And just like everything else, tickets and money and your credit cards, all those fun stuff. If you have that there and you lose your physical ID, now you feel a little bit more secure about what you already have. Plus, you can use that in some places. So that's a great backup plan because no one really ever wants to lose their smartphone.
No.
And it's more secure in your smartphone because you have to have either your PIN, your fingerprint, or your facial recognition to get into that smartphone. Whereas if you lose your wallet or your purse, with that money, that ID, all those credit cards, that's all physically gone. So the smartphone, it's harder to hack into. So it is a great, more secure and convenient way to carry your ID with you. Not every state does that. So we still do encourage you to carry your physical ID with you. But if you do lose your ID, you certainly can. And there's a ton of different ways to reach out to the MVD, which is another reason that the wait times are lower than most people expect. That the wait times are about 15 minutes right now. The average total experience time, so from door to door, is about 26 minutes.
There you
so
go.
When you walk in to walking out is about 26 minutes. The lines may look long, but they move quick. And the reason they do move quick is because we've got a ton of services to come back around. Is you can live chat with us on the ADOT website.
Bill, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. We have to hit a hard break in 30 seconds, but can you hold for another 2 minutes and we're going to come back on the other side of this break and continue this conversation because you've got so many good information this morning that I don't want to lose out on any of it. So if you don't mind.
Happy to stick around. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Bill. We appreciate it.
And while we've got 10 seconds left, I don't know if you can pull this up. I brought my driver's license so you can show.
right, here we go. We
All
are
right.
back, everyone.
We are back. Okay, Bill, thank you so much for holding on. We had so many good questions coming out of the chat and from just us here, so I wanted to make sure we were able to hold you over for just a couple more seconds. Real quick, if folks want to make an appointment at the MVD to get this real ID, how can they do that?
Perfect. And that is a great way to come in and experience a quicker experience time at the MVD. If you know you're going to be in on a busy day like a Monday or a Friday, I definitely encourage people to go to azmvdnow.gov. You can do that with your account or just as a guest. And on there, you can schedule an appointment for the MVD location that you want to go to. You can select, say, 1 o'clock or noon or whatever time that's most convenient for you. And by doing that, you kind of jump in front of the line of the folks that are just kind of walking in hoping that it's kind of a quiet day.
Okay.
But typically Mondays and Fridays are busier days. So if you know you needed to go on your lunch break, that's a perfect way to do it before you sneak out of the office or, wherever you're at. Make that appointment and then run to the MVD office and then you'll jump in front of the 15, 20 people that are waiting in line, and maybe there's 1 or 2 people in front of you, and then you get your services done in 10 minutes.
Bill,
so it's a very great way to do it.
Wonderful, thank you. And we'll make sure that all the links are up for websites. Sherry from Sherry Nevada Pup is her username. Just wanted to give her a shout out. She's saying that it costs her $25, not sure, because she thinks each county has different charges. How much should you expect to pay for this real ID?
So the travel ID is $25, and it's good for 8 years.
Okay.
So I know the standard in Arizona, there's actually a state law. There's a standard ID that we can still offer. And there's, of course, the real ID compliant Arizona travel ID. And that is $25 no matter what MVD office you go to, other than the convenience fee that you would pay at an authorized third-party location. But to be fair, I actually took all 3 of my kids to get their permits and their driver's license at an authorized third-party location because it was a Saturday morning.
Sure.
It was very convenient. The fee is, to make sure that they, kind of run their business, but they are authorized with us, and it's a great way to do it if it's after hours or Saturday mornings.
All right. Well, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time. I didn't mean for this to take so long, but you've been such a wealth of knowledge, and we're getting so many questions. So I think a lot of people are kind of curious about this, want to make sure they get it done. So we appreciate your time this morning.
Happy to help anytime.
All
Thanks,
right.
Bill.
Have a good one.
Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye.
I don't think that our graphics, we're having some issues with the graphics, so I can't put our poll question up.
But I wanted to show you my ID because when I told you it was ugly, I wasn't lying.
Let me see if I can.
I'm very vulnerable
go.
with you folks.
Well, yeah, there we go. So the question that we wanted to ask everyone, and just go ahead and add it into the chat right there. How do you take a good license photo? What routine do you follow?
Maybe I should have slept the night before I took mine.
Maybe you
Look
go to
at
the
that.
hairdresser, you go get a professional makeup artist.
That is
Maybe
brutal.
You don't care.
I've seen some mugshots from some hardened criminals that look better than my driver's license photo. Look at that.
I emailed mine to Trenton, and unfortunately...
Oh, you don't have it in your wallet with you right now?
It didn't.
Oh, it got lost in the email. Trenton, how did that happen?
It got lost in the shuffle.
I think she paid him off.
Let's talk about this next one. You want to talk about adults eating alone?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Well, we're not eating alone. We have
Yeah,
company.
I was going to say, you brought your whole lunch in here.
I brought you a lunch too.
I know.
If you're just joining us, it is Giving Day at Jersey Mike Sub. So I brought Ty a sub from one of my live shots. All the money, all the proceeds from all the sales today at Jersey Subs in the Valley will go straight to Phoenix Children's Hospital. About 1 in 4 U.S. adults say that they ate their meals alone. This is in a 2025 World Happiness Report found that solo dining spiked during the pandemic, and it remains elevated.
Okay.
People don't want to talk.
Is that why you think it is, or do they just don't have friends?
Well, in your case,
I know why I'm eating alone.
we were chatting a little bit about this, and our executive producer yesterday said, if I'm eating alone, I have to turn the TV on. I agree. I need to have a little bit of noise. I don't want to hear any chewing.
Yeah, okay.
But here's another question. Do you go to a restaurant, sit down, and eat alone?
Gosh, I've only like a handful of times have I done that. But I've always like had my phone or my laptop or something,
book.
so I always am like doing something. So I'm
Yeah.
not just like sitting there alone. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like take yourself out on a little date.
They talked to 235,000 people in the U.S. over a 2-decade period for this study, and they said that the spike started in 2011 and just keeps going up.
And I thought this was interesting too. They say the majority are trending younger. So
Yes,
younger and
135.
younger people are actually heading out there.
And that could be because they are more reliant on their phone, possibly. We're getting some good comments in.
People are talking about their.
Are they talking about your picture or
I
theirs?
think they're talking about their photos. A little philosophy says, haha, my ID pic looks much better than I do in real life. Oh, so okay, there you go. That's good when your photo looks better than you do in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
When I went in to update mine, the lady said, well, your photos just keep getting better and better. And I was like, I think maybe worse and worse, but, you know.
I don't know.
I don't like any of them. I just keep it hidden.
Well, I think the lighting's bad at
Yeah.
DMVD. Let's just blame it on that, right?
Uh-huh.
My eyes also look
let's
like
see.
they're-
Sherry Nevada Pup says, my new pic they took has me looking square and I look old. I bet you look beautiful.
We should do a whole thing of just like bad, like a hashtag that we should start, like hashtag my bad photo or ID photo or something.
Hashtag wet chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you look like a wet chicken.
There you do, maybe. My passport photo is worse, though. I don't have a picture of that, though. But that looks even worse than my ID.
Can I read that compliment from Troy, who says his fiance can't get enough of my wardrobe? And every morning she asks, where does she shop? I need to know. I really appreciate that.
All right, where
Thank
do you
Troy.
where do you shop?
Various places. Am I allowed to name stores? Tell your fiance to message me on Instagram and I'll share.
Yeah, DM her. She'll get all the
I'm
all
one of
the
those
deets.
bargain shoppers.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
hearing restaurant noise in my background in
Yeah,
my
it's
ear.
all right.
You?
Just keep going.
Did
All right,
you want to move on to the
Let's
next
move
topic?
on to our next topic. Yeah.
This is weird.
Which one? Which one do you want to do? The spinach?
Spinach.
Okay. So I saw this one. This was an article that was actually in the Washington Post talking about spinach.
Okay.
So TikTokers allegedly are stuffing their mouths with raw spinach first thing in the morning. And they say by shoving your mouth full of a whole bunch of spinach that this will actually curb your salty and sweet cravings throughout the day.
So you just reach into a bag or bowl of spinach, leaves,
Yes.
throw them in your mouth,
Throw them in your mouth.
just one big mouthful.
Allegedly. I haven't tried this myself.
Can you do spinach juice or does it
No,
have
no,
to
no,
be?
no, no. I think you need the actual leaves. They said it's rich with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, so it's actually good for you. But they said that this is trending because it, I guess, stops you from those like hunger pains if you have like that sweet or salty craving. I guess you could be a sweetie salty craving.
You could be a sweetie too. I have a spinach story. Do you want to hear it?
All right.
Well, it's
Do I have a
not-
choice?
Where's your flag?
Oh, my flag's over there. Shoot. All right,
No,
go on.
I used to love spinach salads
Okay.
until I got a salad with rotten spinach at the bottom and didn't see it and ate it. Haven't been able to eat spinach.
Well,
since.
you have to be careful with spinach. That's why I don't buy spinach at the store because it goes bad so quickly.
Very quickly.
And then if you get that slimy, nasty piece, that is the absolute worst. So I know what you're talking about. But anyway, so I guess all these TikTokers, these younger generations are walking around like a cow with cud in its mouth. But maybe we should try it. I'd try it.
Here's my question though.
Okay, go
And
on.
I always try to relate things to people's hours, right?
Mm.
Most people have like a 9 to 5, but we're getting up in the middle of the night. I can't even imagine
Well, do it now.
well, this is almost as good.
Just stuff all that lettuce in there and see what happens.
Well, I will the next time I go to the grocery store, I will buy a bag of spinach and I will devote a week to stuffing my mouth with spinach first thing in the morning and see what happens.
It also says that it's obviously a good source of fiber. Also, wow, TMI. Where's my flag?
Hey,
I really
we're all
do need my
friends
flag.
Here. We're all friends here.
Eating vegetables and proteins before carbs, they say, actually helps with blood sugar spikes as well. So maybe they're onto something here.
Okay.
We never know.
Okay.
All right.
Next topic.
What next topic? What are we talking
We're
about?
going to talk about let me see if I can find graphics too. There it is.
Still
Okay.
learning. Oh, okay.
Yes. So I actually do this.
Okay, so explain what this is.
So you put your legs up. You just like that. You can put them up against the wall, against your headboard at night, or just up in the air, which is a little tougher because you have to hold them up. You're holding your legs up in the wall for 5 minutes. It's supposed to lower anxiety and stress, drains detoxifying lymph fluid, eases headaches, regulates blood. You know when you should be doing this? While you're stuffing your mouth full of spinach.
Yeah.
It restores
A double doozy.
Yeah, so if your legs are really swollen, like maybe after a long plane ride
Oh,
with
okay.
your real ID,
Yeah. There you
you
go.
can throw your-
It all relates back. Okay.
it improves digestion and gut health. So when you're eating all that spinach, It'll pass through nicely, and it helps improve your health.
Okay. Now, how long do you have to do this
5 minutes.
for? Just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
Do you set a timer?
That's totally up to you.
Now, do you meditate? Like, what are you doing during these 5 minutes?
So I will actually do this during yoga practice. We take little what we call shavasana breaks in between, like a balance or a flow. And so when I lay down on my mat, I'll put my legs up.
For a little shavasana?
Yeah, for like a minute or two.
I just like to say that word. I have no idea what it means.
It's a rest.
Okay.
It means rest.
Shavasana.
Shavasana. Little nap,
All right.
if you want.
People are talking about the spinach.
Okay.
And Lisa has a funny story. She says, when I was growing up, my friend's mom would cook spinach on the stove every time I went over there.
Oh.
And that's all you'd smell in the house.
That doesn't smell good,
No.
does it?
It's not as bad as
Lisa,
broccoli.
was there like cheese in the spinach or like a spinach?
Cheese?
You put cheese in the spinach, like cooked spinach. Don't you put cheese in it?
No.
It's like a dip.
Oh, yeah, it's not broccoli. That's what I was thinking.
No, spinach.
Like a spinach dip. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's different.
Right.
Wilted. Okay, well, I don't know.
You look like you'd never heard of that before.
Well, I was just thought me would like
you
taking
can put cheese.
on anything.
You can put cheese on broccoli. It's very tasty.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
Sherry says she's going to try it. I'm going to try it too, Sherry, and see what happens. And then Linda says, I love raw spinach in a salad or on a sandwich.
I agree.
I'm afraid.
And then I like Lil Philosophy. He says spinach and legs up in the air at the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
Try it. Kill two birds with one stone.
We are all about being more efficient here. The more health stuff.
I want to try this. Hold on. Am I going to break the wall if I go put my legs up?
No, but no. Okay. That's it.
Hold on.
We have a minute and 20 seconds until our break. Well, you can actually put your butt against the wall.
I put my butt?
Yeah, it's easier.
This floor is dirty right now.
They can't really see you. And there he is.
I think I need to work on my...
But doesn't it feel good? It's like it's draining all the fluids.
I'm not doing that for 5
Okay.
minutes.
We have a minute and show. Eat your sandwich.
I'm going to eat my sandwich.
Okay.
That was a fun show, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to plug back
You know
in.
what we would absolutely love if you guys want to send us some suggestions as to what you want us to talk about tomorrow. If you have any big events, any fundraisers coming up.
Yoga poses. Yeah.
I can do some yoga. I'll post the yoga poses
We
on
should
my
do,
Instagram.
how about we do like a yoga pose Friday where you show us a yoga pose?
Sure.
Okay, so why don't you come up with that for Friday? We'll do a
Okay.
little yoga
What are
pose.
you going to come up with?
I'm just gonna watch you do the yoga pose. How about that?
That sounds good.
All right.
What kind of socks are you wearing today?
Oh, they're
Quick.
they're green plants. They're not green spinach.
Are they
That is-
spinach?
they kind of look like it.
It looks like we're going to go with spinach.
They're monstera leaves. That's what they are.